Imagine reaching into an old jar of coins, pulling out a worn Lincoln penny, and discovering that the little copper coin in your hand could be worth $6.6 million. It sounds impossible. It sounds like the kind of story people tell at coin shows and online forums. But what if one of the greatest hidden treasures in American coin collecting has been sitting unnoticed for decades? What if a coin that millions of people have handled, spent, and ignored could hold a life-changing secret? Today, we are diving into the fascinating mystery of the 1946 Lincoln penny with no mint mark. At first glance, it looks ordinary. In fact, most people would never give it a second look. Yet certain examples of this historic coin have captured the attention of collectors across the country, turning a simple 1-cent piece into one of the most searched for treasures in pocket change history. To understand why this coin creates so much excitement, we need to travel back to 1946. America was emerging from the shadows of World War II. Families were rebuilding their lives. Soldiers were returning home. Factories that had produced military equipment were shifting back to consumer goods. The nation was changing rapidly, and so was its coinage. During this period, the Lincoln penny was a familiar symbol of everyday American life. People carried them in their pockets, saved them in jars, and used them for countless daily transactions. Few imagined that decades later, some of these same pennies would become objects of fascination and desire. The 1946 Lincoln penny without a mint mark was produced at the main United States Mint facility in Philadelphia. During that era, Philadelphia pennies typically carried no mint mark at all. So if you look beneath the date and don't see a letter, that's completely normal. But here's where the story becomes interesting. Not every 1946 penny is valuable. In fact, most are worth only a small amount above face value. The real excitement comes from finding exceptional examples with rare characteristics, outstanding preservation, unusual striking qualities, or significant mint errors that collectors compete fiercely to own. And that brings us to the first thing you need to know. Take a close look at the front of the coin. You should see Abraham Lincoln facing right. Above his head appears the motto "I and God we trust." To the left is liberty. The date 1946 sits on the right side. Most importantly, there should be no mint mark beneath the date. Now flip the coin over. You should see the classic wheat ears design. 2 wheat stalks frame the words 1 cent and United States of America. Across the top appears E pluribus unum. This reverse design is beloved by collectors because it represents a bygone era of American coinage. Many enthusiasts spend years searching through old collections hoping to find an overlooked treasure among these wheat pennies. But don't stop at identifying the date and design. The real value often hides in details invisible to the casual observer. Imagine this scenario. A collector purchases an old coffee can filled with pennies at an estate sale. The coins appear dirty and ordinary. Most people would dump them into a counting machine without a second thought. But as the collector examines each coin carefully under magnification, something unusual catches his eye. The strike is exceptionally sharp. The surfaces glow with original color. The details appear almost untouched by circulation. Condition is one of the most important factors in coin collecting. A heavily worn 1946 penny may have little premium value, but a coin preserved in remarkable condition for nearly 80 years can become highly desirable. Collectors call these top examples gem-quality coins, and competition for them can be intense. Now here's something many people miss. Original red color matters. When Lincoln pennies were first minted, they displayed a bright reddish copper appearance. Over time, exposure to air causes the color to darken. Most surviving examples today are brown or reddish-brown. However, if a 1946 penny somehow remained protected for decades and retained much of its original red color, collectors may pay dramatically higher prices. This is where attention to detail becomes crucial. Hold the coin under good lighting. Look for strong luster. Examine the high points of Lincoln's hair. Check the wheat ears for sharp detail. Study the fields for marks, scratches, and signs of wear. Every tiny characteristic contributes to the coin's desirability. But wait, because the story gets even more exciting. Some collectors aren't just searching for high-grade examples. They're hunting for errors. Mint errors occur when something goes wrong during the production process. These mistakes can transform an ordinary coin into a prized rarity. Look carefully for doubled lettering. Inspect the date for unusual characteristics. Examine the edges and surfaces for striking anomalies. Search for off-center strikes. Look for die cracks, die chips, or unusual marks created during the minting process. Many valuable discoveries have been made by people who simply took the time to inspect coins others ignored. Think about that for a moment. Millions of pennies pass through people's hands every year. Most are spent without a second glance. Yet history has shown that extraordinary finds often come from ordinary places. A forgotten piggy bank, a dusty coin album, an inherited collection, a box tucked away in an attic. Some of the most exciting discoveries in coin collecting began with a simple decision to look closer. And that's why the 1946 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny continues to capture imaginations. It's not just about money. It's about possibility. It's about the thrill of uncovering something hidden in plain sight. Every collector understands that feeling. The moment your heart races. The moment you notice something different. The moment you wonder whether you found a coin nobody else recognized. That excitement is what keeps people searching year after year. Now let's go through a quick identification checklist. First, verify the date reads 1946. Second, confirm there is no mint mark beneath the date. Third, check that Lincoln faces right. Fourth, inspect the reverse for the wheat ears design. Fifth, evaluate the coin's condition. Sixth, search carefully for errors or unusual characteristics. Seventh, avoid cleaning the coin. This last point is incredibly important. Many people think cleaning a coin will increase its value. In reality, cleaning often damages collectible coins and can significantly reduce their worth. Even gentle cleaning can leave microscopic scratches that experienced collectors immediately recognize. If you believe you've found an exceptional example, leave it exactly as it is. Store it safely. Handle it by the edges. Consider having it examined by a reputable professional grading service. Now imagine finding a nearly perfect 1946 penny hidden inside an old collection assembled generations ago. The coin has survived untouched. Its surfaces remain vibrant. Its details remain sharp. Its rarity becomes apparent only after careful examination. Suddenly, a piece of everyday American history becomes something much more significant. They remind us that treasures don't always look valuable at first glance. Sometimes the greatest discoveries are the ones everyone else overlooks. That lesson extends far beyond coin collecting. Patience matters. Knowledge matters. Attention matters. The people who make remarkable discoveries are often the people willing to look where others don't. So the next time you encounter a jar of old pennies, don't dismiss it as spare change. Take a closer look. Check the dates. Study the details. Inspect every coin carefully. Because somewhere out there, hidden among countless ordinary pennies, could be a remarkable survivor from 1946 waiting to be rediscovered. A coin that traveled through decades of American history. A coin that escaped loss, damage, and destruction. A coin that may hold far more value than anyone ever imagined. And while stories of coins worth millions of dollars capture headlines and spark excitement, the real magic lies in the search itself. Every coin tells a story. Every collection holds possibilities. Every overlooked penny deserves another look. Collectors spend years chasing that one unforgettable discovery. They search rolls from banks, estate sales, flea markets, inherited collections, and forgotten boxes because they know extraordinary finds are still being made. The next great discovery may not happen in a museum or auction house. It may happen at a kitchen table. It may happen while sorting through pocket change. It may happen when someone notices a small detail others missed. And if that moment comes, the reward could be beyond imagination. After all, history has shown that rare coins can sell for staggering amounts, reaching into the realm of million-dollar valuations when rarity, condition, demand, and uniqueness align perfectly. That's why collectors never stop searching. That's why old pennies remain one of the most popular areas of American numismatics. And that's why the 1946 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny continues to fascinate treasure hunters generation after generation. This exact penny could be sitting in your drawer right now, and it's worth over $1 million. Imagine reaching into an old jar of pennies, pulling out a coin that looks completely ordinary, and discovering that it could be worth an astonishing $6.7 million. It sounds impossible. It sounds like the kind of story you hear once and immediately dismiss. Yet throughout American coin collecting history, ordinary people have made life-changing discoveries in the most unexpected places. Hidden among spare change, forgotten piggy banks, and dusty coin collections are coins that have stunned experts and shocked collectors. And today, we are talking about one of the most fascinating possibilities of them all, the 1981D Lincoln penny. At first glance, the 1981D penny appears completely common. Millions of Americans handled these coins during the early 1980s. They passed through grocery stores, gas stations, restaurants, and banks. People tossed them into jars, left them in dresser drawers, and forgot about them. Most were spent without a second thought. But every experienced collector knows a powerful truth. Sometimes the coins that appear the most ordinary are the ones hiding the most extraordinary secrets. The story begins in Denver, Colorado, where the United States Mint struck hundreds of millions of Lincoln cents in 1981. These coins carried the small d mint mark beneath the date, identifying them as products of the Denver Mint. Workers operated massive presses day and night, producing coins for circulation across the nation. Everything seemed routine. But coin collecting history has taught us that routine production can occasionally produce remarkable surprises. Small mistakes, unusual die varieties, striking anomalies, and exceptionally preserved examples can transform a 1-cent coin into an object worth thousands, hundreds of thousands, or even more. And that's where the mystery surrounding certain 1981D Lincoln pennies begins. Imagine being a collector searching through rolls of pennies. Hour after hour, coin after coin, everything looks identical. Then suddenly, one coin catches your eye. Something is different. Maybe the strike is unusually sharp. Maybe there is a rare error. Maybe the surfaces appear untouched despite decades of circulation. That moment of discovery is what keeps collectors searching. Now here's something many people don't realize. Condition is everything in the world of rare coins. 2 pennies from the same year can have dramatically different values. One may be worth only a cent. Another, preserved in extraordinary condition, could command a staggering premium from serious collectors. And rarity often emerges from survival. The fewer top-quality examples that exist, the more intense competition becomes among collectors who want the very best. But before you start searching, you need to know exactly what to look for. Take out a 1981 penny and examine the front. You should see the familiar portrait of Abraham Lincoln. Look carefully beneath the date. If there's a small D mint mark, you've confirmed that it was produced in Denver. Next, inspect the coin surfaces under strong lighting. Collectors pay close attention to details that casual observers often miss. Look at Lincoln's hair. Are the strands sharp and well-defined? Examine the cheek and jawline. These details matter because they reveal how much wear a coin has experienced. Now let's go deeper. One of the most exciting aspects of coin collecting is the hunt for unusual varieties and mint errors. During production, dies can develop imperfections. Mechanical issues can create strange appearances. Occasionally, these anomalies escape into circulation and become prized discoveries. Carefully inspect the date and mint mark. Use magnification if possible. Look for signs of doubling in the letters and numbers. Examine the words Liberty and I and God We Trust. Search for unusual shapes, extra thickness, or unexpected distortions. Many collectors have spent years examining Lincoln cents because even tiny differences can make a significant impact on value. Here's where the excitement really builds. Imagine finding a coin that everyone else overlooked. Imagine realizing that the penny sitting in a forgotten container has characteristics that make collectors stop and stare. That possibility is what fuels the passion of treasure hunters across America. Every year, stories emerge about remarkable discoveries. Someone searches through inherited coins. Another person checks a childhood collection. A retiree opens a jar that has sat untouched for decades. Now, let's talk about preservation. If you believe you found an exceptional 1981D Lincoln penny, handling becomes critical. Never clean the coin. This is one of the biggest mistakes people make. Cleaning can destroy original surfaces and dramatically reduce collector value. Instead, hold the coin by its edges. Store it in a protective holder. Preserve every detail exactly as you found it. Professional grading services evaluate coins according to strict standards. They assess strike quality, surface preservation, luster, and overall appearance. Coins that achieve the highest grades often command the strongest prices because they represent the finest surviving examples. Picture 2 collectors competing for a nearly perfect coin. Both know how difficult it is to find. Both understand its importance. The result can be intense bidding and surprising prices. That competitive energy is one reason rare coins continue to fascinate people generation after generation. Now let me ask you something. Most people never examine them. They assume every penny is identical. They overlook the possibility that something extraordinary could be hiding in plain sight. But collectors see things differently. They understand that history can fit in the palm of your hand. A coin is more than metal. It's a survivor from another era. It carries a story. It traveled through the economy. It witnessed decades of change. And occasionally, it becomes something far more valuable than anyone expected. That's why searches continue every day. People inspect bankrolls. They sort inherited collections. They examine old coffee cans filled with change. They look through forgotten boxes stored in attics and closets. Because somewhere out there, another discovery is waiting. And perhaps the most thrilling part is that nobody knows where it will happen next. Maybe it's tucked inside an album. Maybe it's hidden among hundreds of ordinary-looking pennies. Or maybe it's resting in a drawer, completely unnoticed. As you search, remember the key identification points. Verify the date as 1981. Confirm the demint mark beneath the year. Examine the coin carefully for exceptional condition. Look for unusual varieties, doubling, striking anomalies, and other distinctive features. Use magnification whenever possible. Protect the coin from damage and avoid cleaning it. These simple steps separate casual observers from serious treasure hunters. The next great discovery won't belong to the person who ignored their coins. It will belong to the person who took the time to look. The person who stayed curious. The person who believed that something extraordinary could still be found in everyday places. That's the enduring magic of coin collecting. It transforms ordinary objects into possibilities. It turns spare change into a treasure hunt. And it reminds us that remarkable discoveries often happen when we least expect them. Some people spend years searching without finding anything unusual. Others make a discovery on their very first day. There are no guarantees. That's what makes the journey exciting. Every penny has a story. Every collection holds potential. Every search carries hope. And somewhere, hidden among countless ordinary coins, a remarkable survivor may still be waiting for the right collector to recognize its significance. So before you ignore that handful of pennies on your desk, before you spend the coins rattling around in your pocket, take a closer look. Examine the dates. Check the mint marks. Study the details. Because history has repeatedly shown that extraordinary value can hide where nobody expects it. This exact penny could be sitting in your drawer